Let's end in Dunedin tonight, which boasts the largest concentration of Victorian and Edwardian buildings of any New Zealand city. Some are justly famous, of course. The grand facades of the railway station and the new university still stop visitors in their tracks. But the cost of repairing heritage buildings has prompted the Property Council to call on city planners to take a step back before determining whether to protect a heritage building. It's an issue the Dunedin City Council is considering as it undertakes public hearings for its next district plan. Lydia Anderson reports.
Dunedin City Council has been working with commercial property owners to restore once grand CBD buildings fallen into disrepair, with dozens restored in recent years. But the Property Council says some older buildings in the city are simply past their use-by date and beyond salvage. Spokesperson Alex Vitratsis says the City Council has been putting citywide heritage rules in place first and expecting owners to put their case forward later.
Let's have a council that wants to engage with the commercial property owners at the beginning and work in partnership to get rules and flexibility in those rules, because every single building is incredibly different, and you can't have a one-size-fits-all approach.
Mr Vitratsis says in the past, some owners have locked up their buildings and walked away, unable to meet the council's demands. He says in order to market Dunedin as a city ripe for business investment, its CBD buildings need to be functional and up to scratch, which in some cases means making way for new builds.
A functioning city should be in a constant state of change. You only have to look at, for example, Auckland CBD, where they're demolishing shopping malls or they're demolishing buildings and replacing them. But that's the idea of a city. A city shouldn't be stagnant.
The Property Council has presented a submission to the Council's second-generation district plan. A trustee for the Southern Heritage Trust, Jo Gaylor, says she understands the Property Council's concerns, but its attitude is 20 years out of date.
People have to realise the value that we are now seeing in our heritage buildings as they are slowly renovated and turned into economic units once again. And I would hope that perhaps those days are gone where we look at buildings as being an eyesore or just a nuisance that only require demolition.
Dunedin residents spoken to by RNZ News had mixed views on the city's heritage buildings.
I personally think we've got enough that have been restored well and are beautiful, and that's what the tourists come to see.
I would have thought there was a bit of corporate social responsibility, that when you do buy a building that is obviously of a certain historic worth, then you are taking on that responsibility.
It is part of the story of New Zealand and Dunedin, and anything new needs to be added to that story, so there's another layer rather than starting again.
From a resident's point of view, I'd absolutely like to see them stay, because I think they're sort of part of the city's heritage and culture. But whether or not it's financially viable is another issue.
The Dunedin City Council says it isn't able to provide a response while district plan hearings are underway. The second-generation district plan is expected to take effect next year. I o te Pauti, ko Lydia Anderson tēnei.